I made this mug when I was like 10, by the way, so I don't want to see any judgment. I was trying to quickly come on here and talk about the Overwatch comic. By the Overwatch comic, obviously there's loads, I mean the Anthology Volume 1, one of the only purchasable full-length comic series for Overwatch. I own it, and I've showed it before many times. I bought this one secondhand, and the person hadn't even like opened it before. It was like they literally bought it probably as a background prop. I was like, yeah, man, I don't want this anymore. I'm gonna sell it. So I got it. I got it for like £5, right? But I think these still go new for about £12, $15, whatever, wherever you are. I want to talk. Is it worth it? Would the Overwatch comics be worth it as someone who enjoys the games and or comics? Now, I've been slowly getting into more comics. Right, but I'm not like a massive comic book nerd at that level yet, right? I enjoy it, and I enjoy a good story, and I enjoy good characters, and I like Overwatch a lot. Would I recommend the Overwatch comics? Let's get into it. So all the ones in this are from around 2016 to 2018. I don't quite remember. Briggs in here. Ash is not in here. So I'm assuming around the latest comic in here is 2018. That's about it. That does span a pretty good timeline of Overwatch lore. You get some early Overwatch stories that take place years before the game, or like just a few years. There's nothing from like crazy past in this book, but there's stuff that's referenced, and there's also just fun one-off stories included in here, like Christmas ones, Halloween ones, and I even think there's the Brig and Ryan one is also, I would say, a one-off. Did I enjoy it? That's first off we're gonna go for. Yes. Now, I don't sound so sure there, because obviously it's not in the way that you're going to sit down and you're going to go start to finish, grip to the pages, right? Because each comic is about 7 or 8 pages long, and that's usually not a lot of text, but obviously you're enjoying the graphic of it all. I think the art style throughout this comic is amazing. I think Overwatch art is great. Let's show a bit of it. I haven't showed off any of the pages yet. So this is obviously a classic one. This is just the Cassidy train Robin thing. And I think it does seriously look great. It's got lots of love in it. I wouldn't say a single one of the comics is rushed or poorly done. Overwatch doesn't put a lot of its energy into producing the comics and would much rather focus on the game itself, right? Which is okay. So that does mean when one gets made, it typically is made with a lot of passion and desire. So you're always going to get into a comic that doesn't feel rushed or bad. They're extremely well paced because they have to be. My enjoyment of most of them came from a standpoint of, I know this character, I like that character, the story is added to that character. I think if I did not know any of the Overwatch characters, part of this would be like, oh, that would be a cool game. I don't think it has the quite, oh, that's a cool comic. If you get what I mean, you'll read it and you like the characters if they were in a media that wasn't a comic. But if you already know the characters, the comic adds a lot to them. So would I recommend it to you if you love the Overwatch characters? Then yeah. But would I recommend buying a physical one? That's a very different thing. If you somehow don't know, I'll throw a photo of the website up now. Overwatch has all its stories and comics for free on their website, and they are even going to add it into the game itself in season 19, which is tomorrow at the time of recording. So would you buy an anthology for £15 if you could just read those comics, which take up 20% of the Overwatch comics? I would say no. If you're dying to read them, then just you would have read them already. So who is the comic book for, the physical one? People like me. Weird people like me that like to just collect physical things. I don't like reading digitally. I've never enjoyed audiobooks. I've never enjoyed Kindle scrolling through it. I've never really enjoyed reading the comic on the website. I do like when they get the voice actors to narrate the comics, which they do with the most recent Ramacha one, they did with the Freya one, the Wu Yang one, all that. I think that is great. I think motion comic, incredible. I think motion comics are a great way to watch these, but not all of these are motion comics, especially the ones in the Anthology Volume 1. Let me just wrap this up anyway, because this can all be summarized into one thing. It's a very easy point. The comics are okay, and I think if you're a comic book lover, this is not for you, because these stories don't link that well. They're usually just one-off instances that sure are in the same universe, but they're all one-off instances. You can't read a comic book series of your favorite character from Overwatch. So if you're a comic book fan, this is not something to get into unless you're somehow trying to bridge yourself into liking games and you need a comic book to do that. But if that is you, that's a crazy position to be in. I envy that. If you're an Overwatch fan, yes, reading the comics will give you a better connection to your character. You'll probably enjoy the game. You'll probably enjoy the comics because of the game, but it's not going to like enlighten your experience in the game, especially because in Overwatch 2, there's not the playable stories and stuff like that, so you're not going to really, be able to do the things in there. But they give you a bit of background context, especially if you're a big fan of one of the characters in here. I think if you're a big Soldier Ana person, there's a lot to get into here. Ana probably has the best, in my opinion, from what I've read, lore that is actually written out and planned properly. People say Ramattra's cool, but that is literally all speculation. They haven't given almost any of that lore out. It's usually just they probably would be good. However, Ana has really, really good lore. My point is, buy the book if you want to have physical comics and you actually have a passion for Overwatch and you want something maybe to display in the background of a YouTube video on a shelf, right? That's really it. And if you're a comic book fan, I just would say, why bother? And if you're really on the fence, like you like physical comics, I mean, have a scan through the art online. The art in here is really good, and I would say it is fun to flick through as an art book. I also really enjoy the back. They have pages of like concept art and stuff. That's really cool. That's all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe if you like this. I might one day rank all the comics. I think this video is going to do poorly because no one cares about comics and the Overwatch ones, but I have the book and I thought it would be fun. It's next to me. Let's talk about it. So, I give the Overwatch comics a 6 out of 10 on this imaginary scale where there is no comparison at all.